Hey, what's up guys? John here. A lot of people are looking at the economy. They're looking at their spending habits and how much things are really just becoming much more harder to attain because of rising prices. But I believe we're going to see a very interesting relationship with the next few years we've ever seen in history. I think job opportunities, I think everything as a whole is going to change. And smart investors and everyday Americans that intend to do well over the next 5 to 10 years must understand the trap that is being set for all of us. Take a look at, I'm going to lay out a couple things that are very important here. But first, they talk about this thing called lunchflation, which is, they say returning to the office is costing us a fortune. They've been trying to push people out of the offices for quite a few years, right? Trying to push people to work from home and do all these things. You have to take into consideration, well, what does this do for the everyday American? Well, the jobs that can be offered remotely, they don't have to hire just in America. And what I'm seeing and a lot of people are seeing now is when you're looking for talent to help you, it's costing you a pretty penny. But if you were to do it in America and hire people here, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. But you can still hire in other countries. That's what all of these businesses are going to be forced to start entertaining. They're already doing it in a small scale, but they're going to be doing this more and more and more. Because who's going to be able to pay someone to sit home in New York City at $50 an hour, $75 an hour? Because the cost of living has increased so much, but yet their value as an employee has not increased in relation to the cost of living. So what does this mean? How is this whole thing going to play out? Well, it's going to be a very interesting relationship with robotics and technology. Robot end effector, market worth $9.6 billion globally by 2028 at a 15.6% compounded annual growth rate. So we're going to start to see more and more robotics and tech step in as the solution, right? And this lunchflation thing, this is how it all kind of comes together, because they're not going to tell you this anywhere else. Millions of employees started working remotely after the pandemic. First took hold in 2020, but now more people are returning to the office, and they're being greeted by much higher prices for just about everything. Food, commuting, daycare, rising gas prices, and soaring inflation made going back to the office more expensive, and that is eating into workers' income, especially if their pay increases aren't keeping up. Here are some of the daily costs that have crept higher, making the return to post-pandemic office life more expensive. Coffee runs and lunches with colleagues are one of the perks of returning to the office, but they come at a much higher price these days. The index for food away from home increased 7.2% over the last year. The Labor Department reported earlier this month food prices are up 9.4% in April from the same time last year, the biggest jump since 1981. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics recently reported the grocery store prices increased 10.8% for the year ending in April. Office workers are seeing higher prices for cost for everything, from their morning coffee to their lunchtime salads. Starbucks raised the prices in 2021. We have additional pricing actions planned through the balance of this year. This then CEO Kevin Johnson said to an analyst in a call on February, citing the cost pressures such as inflation. Salad chain Sweetgreen has raised their menu prices by 10%, right? So everyone's increasing prices. Here's how this is going to work out. And they're even saying here, soaring prices at the pump have caused Sarah Hill to change her driving habits. They've been talking about this for a while. We need to change driving habits, right? I was eating more food because I was closer to the kitchen. My food spending was still increasing because we were at home. After working remotely full-time during the height of the pandemic, she is now going to be going to the office for 2 days a week. So what does that mean for her employer, right? Less stability, higher costs. So what is the employer going to do? Well, this is what they're going to do. Robotics help address Singapore's skill shortage. Robots pick up more work at a busy factory. Southgate Community Schools enlist germ-zapping robot. New York is turning into Japan by giving robots to old people as companions. Medical telepresence robots market is expected to expand. Chili's restaurant using robot servers to make jobs easier for workers. And I mean, this is all this week. Robots pick up more work at busy factories. Israeli innovation solving the loneliness epidemic. Recent developments in the healthcare terminology, right? Technology. Can robots save nursing homes? All these things we have to ask ourselves. If we have rising costs as a business owner, you have rising costs, and your wages are the most expensive expense that you have as a business owner. What are you going to do if all your competitors start adopting technology and robotics? Well, you're going to go out of business. That's what you're going to do unless you adopt technology and robotics as well, because their costs are going to be fixed and they're going to be reduced, meaning that they're going to be able to supply the customer with a cheaper end price. And what is that ultimately going to do? It's going to give them a pricing advantage. And if most people are going to be put out of work over the next 5 to 10 years, what does this mean? It means that there's going to be universal basic incomes and pilot programs and all these different things that are going to be happening to most Americans, not all, but to most Americans, because we're going to start seeing all these different careers being changed and revolutionized by technology. But yet household debt, consumer debt, credit card debt, auto debt, all these debts are through the roof, right? At a time with massive advances in technology and robotics. This is what we're going to be faced with. This is what is happening. This is what they are going to do. They're going to be pushing robotics, pushing tech, because it's not a business owner's job. It's not their responsibility to pay employees whatever, any media outlet says that they're worth. An employee is worth to a business what an employee is worth to a business. If the employee is not making the business owner money, the business owner is not going to hire that employee. That is just how it is. It's just the reality. Now, what we are seeing is we're seeing this push into technology. And so for all of us, we have a couple big questions to ask. Are we in a career? Are we in an industry? Do we have a moat of safety? If we do not, we have to ask ourselves, what can we do now? What decisions can we make to make smart and profound moves today to protect us for tomorrow? That's going to be a very, very big decision that people should be making now and not at the 9th hour. And the other thing is, if we're looking at these big changes, these business owners, for example, they're having a hard time hiring people and keeping people. Just a hard time. And what are they going to do? They're going to have to either hire people that are going to be outsourced, or they're going to hire people that are going to offer that type of stability and stay and work, which is going to be pretty rare, right? Because they're going to go through a lot of people. I know a lot of business owners are going through all these different employees trying to find people that will actually stay, right? And employees are trying to find places that will actually pay them enough to live a living wage. So there's this big discrepancy on value from both the employer and the employee. And so what is this likely going to mean? It means that I think a huge opportunity right now is understanding, hey, what can I do, or what could you do to supply value to these business owners, whether it be through online training programs, or whether it be through automating some type of business, doing something to create value online at a low cost, or just bringing down your overall cost as a whole. But we have to realize what we're going to see is going to be this massive disruption. And it's going to impact, even if it doesn't impact your business, it's going to impact your customer, their ability to actually pay, which in the net result is going to be, it's going to impact your business, right? Because there's going to be less money in circulation. So what I believe is very likely to happen is the smart entrepreneurs now are building out game plans, building out plans, what they're going to do, how they're going to make money, how they're going to protect themselves from this technological innovation. All these things are so important. I believe by 2030, 2035, the entire workplace is going to be completely different, like completely different. You're not going to be able to recognize what we were accustomed to over in the past compared to what we're going to see in the future. No doubt about it. All these other bubbles that have popped, dot-com bubble, the 1987 stock crash, 2007, 2008 real estate crash, all these things, they were basically created by humans and solved by humans. Now we're stepping into a problem that's created by humans and now going to be solved by technology and robotics, right? If you look at what a human can do, is work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Look what a robot can do. It can work 24/7. It will never sue you. It'll never press a lawsuit. It will never, file any type of claims against you. It will show up every day. It'll do all these things, and it will just work 24/7. Doesn't need a lunch break. Doesn't need vacation time. All these things. This is what I'm seeing. This is what we're all seeing. And so for us, we have to ask ourselves, what can we do to position ourselves and make a smart decision today? I believe YouTube is a really good solution. Getting in front of people that basically cost you, the content creator, nothing to, there's no upfront expense. Like, that is invaluable today. The second is real estate investing, if you can invest correctly, I think the market's going to just dump soon. I think we're going to see a massive crash in the real estate market. I think prices are just going to dive and dump as interest rates rise and we start to hit the true state of this economy. But you want to know how to invest when that happens, right? You want good credit. You want to know how to invest. You want to obviously have some type of online business, online presence to where you can take advantage of online trends and you could supply value in mass scale. But they're going to push a universal basic income. I guarantee you they're going to push a universal basic income because there's going to be no other way that people are going to be able to survive and live. So universal basic income is going to come, but if we've learned anything, it's that nothing is free, ever, right? If they're going to give you something for free, they're going to want something bigger in return. The question is, are you going to be willing to give that? What do you think about this whole situation? Drop your comments below, hit the like button, subscribe. You're also subscribed to my second YouTube channel. It's going to be a podcast and an interactive show this upcoming week, and links for everything down below, as well as cashnow.video, and links up top for TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. All right, guys, I'll catch you later.